Fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
It's a little better today. I have to admit, it's a little better when the dog makes his own coffee. Good morning. It's Thursday. Almost Friday. Thursday is almost Friday. That's what we're going to call it from now on. We're getting rid of the name Thursday altogether. We're just going to call it Almost Friday. Welcome to Almost Friday, August 25th, 2022. I am your loyal, faithful dog, Wolf. I'm chasing cats. Today, William Conway will be joining me at some point. And our guest will be Lisa Polizzi. Lisa Polizzi of the Janis Joplin Experience, the Lisa Polizzi Band, and 19 other bands that she has going on. And formerly of the television show Being Lisa Polizzi, which is a weird name for a show that she just happened to get that part. And I will just be here waiting for death to claim me. That's what I am doing. I'm looking at end of August and looking down the road and saying, here comes a whole other cycle of my worst time of the year. Now, I like autumn. I definitely like autumn. But I know autumn leads to winter, and winter is hell. So I'm getting an advanced jump on my depression. I think maybe I need a month off. I think maybe I need to go to Hawaii for about a month. Just lay on the beach with hula girls and their lovely breasts in their grass skirts, and they're waving palm things at me, saying, poor, poor thing, have another beer. That's what I need. Good morning. I'm your ray of sunshine on an almost Friday day. There was some interesting reaction yesterday to me beating up on Dean. I wasn't necessarily beating up on Dean. Oh, we're not on Twitch. Wait a minute. Not on Twitch. What's going on? Oh, I got to add to Twitch again. This is happening every day now. I'm sorry, Twitchsters. I was late. I started the program. This is happening. It's happening. Anyway, good to see you. You missed a lovely introduction to me on this almost Thursday. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to add Twitch now because we're only on Twitch because YouTube fucked me. They fucked me hard. And they're intentionally, because I complained, they're intentionally delaying my appeal, because what's the purpose of an appeal if it takes 7 days to get your appeal listened to when the ban is for 7 days? So it's already been 3 days. I've already lost 3 days to bureaucracy and bullshit. So if you missed the early introduction, good morning to folks out there. It is almost Friday, which is the new name for this day. It's not Thursday anymore. It's called Almost Friday. And looking forward to getting done with this week. It's been an exhaustive week. You know, anytime we do one of those dopey potathons, it does take a toll. Yeah, and 12 hours seem like a piece of cake, but mm, it does take a toll. And so this feels like a really long week already. Uh, Friday Eve. Yeah, you could call it Friday Eve. Good morning, people in the chat room there. Yeah, so there was good morning, Dean. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Kevin. Um, there was some interesting reaction to yesterday. So some people said it was a great show. I just thought it was just another show. Now there was a little bit of uh unnecessary drama at the beginning. But that was, that is what it is. It wasn't necessarily compelling for me, and I don't think Dean probably. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, but I don't think he thought it was like exceptional radio or exceptional live streaming or whatever this is. Um, Today, William Conway will be joining me. Dean, as I mentioned yesterday, has an invitation to join us anytime you like. I got to send out the link in a moment. But Lisa Polizzi will be my guest. Lisa Polizzi is one of the hardest working young women in show business. She has more bands than I have years in my life. She's her main. I don't know if her main thing, but the one that is getting the most attention, I guess, is the Janis Joplin Experience. She does an amazing Janis. They do it in full costume, and she channels Janis in a very believable and authentic way. And so she'll be my guest at 10 a.m. this morning. Should be interesting. By request of Tom Kanapka, who doesn't seem to be here for it. That always happens. People request things. Um, So, but yesterday got a whole lot of reaction from a lot of people. Got some email about it, about uh, the especially the beginning part. I mean, it was almost always about the. Some people thought it was um, staged. That the little interaction there between Dean and I was was staged. We're not that good. We're not actors. Um, Yeah. Okay. I'm just seeing that the lady whose website caused me to lose YouTube for a week. She just wrote to me. Thanks for the heads up. Her web guy is working on it. Uh, it would have been, nice. I wrote 2 days ago. It would be nice just to get back to me and acknowledge that. Hey, sorry, my screw up or you promoting me caused this problem to and again it's definitely not her fault. It's YouTube's policy is ridiculous and unreasonable, and me harping on that caused YouTube I think to delay my appeal, doing it maliciously, a little passive aggressively. Oh yeah, he's gonna call us out on social media, on Twitter. Put his appeal on the bottom of the pile. I think that's what they did. Maybe that's being a little conspiratorial, but that's what I think is happening. Anyway, so that's what we're looking at today. Let me send Dean a link in case he wants to pop in later while I'm doing this. I'll just keep yipping and yapping and yappity yippity yip yap 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 yap. What's going on in the world, folks? Nothing. Nothing. Another day, another same old in America. The uh, bitterness and the cult that clings to the orange Wizard of Oz cult leader just refuses to give up on them. Just refuse it. And let me ask for Trump people out there. Let me ask you: what has he ever done for you? Specifically, what has he done for you? How has he made your life better? Why do you love him so that you are willing to let him commit the worst crimes ever and just convince yourself, not believe, convince yourself that he's innocent of everything. He's incapable of committing the crimes that we all see him commit in broad daylight. What has he done for you to inspire that kind of insane loyalty that you're just willing to convince yourself, again, not truly believe, but convince yourself? Is it that you just hate the Democratic Party that much that the alternative is so terrible in your mind that you have to cling to him? I'm just curious about that. If there's anybody out there who was in the cult, and you know you're in a cult, answer me that. What has he ever really done for you? Speaking of America, it's Mr. American Flag. I had Dakota, uh, I don't know, whatever, Mount Rushmore shirt on this morning.
Oh,
But
did you?
I did, but I changed it. I said, no, I can't just go on the air with a T-shirt. That's not my thing. It's not a host. It's not what a host does.
I
Anyway.
would have thought you did it for me because I used to live in South Dakota. I'd have been like, "Oh, look at that! He's wearing."
Well,
he's
that's
repping
why
South
I
Dakota.
that's why I considered it, but I didn't.
Aw.
I didn't go to it.
I've only seen Mount Rushmore like one time. I lived in South Dakota for like 20 years and only saw Mount Rushmore one time. But I mean, 10 of those years I wasn't really allowed to go anywhere. So
That's a good way of putting it. It wasn't really allowed to go anywhere. I like
yeah,
that.
sometimes if I'm trying to impress a chick, I'll tell her that I used to live in a gated community. Like I
Yeah.
do that sometimes.
So what's going on? Where are you home?
I am. I'm at home in Grants, New Mexico. I thought about taking you around the property today, but it'd be really loud with the machine, and we know how we like that.
What's going on there?
We're getting ready for another rodeo thing this weekend. What is it? The
Triple Crown Barrel Racing event.
It's the Triple Crown Barrel Racing event we're having here this weekend.
And what is that? Is that it's racing
It's rodeo.
horses?
Yeah, it's like they set up 3 barrels, and there's like a pattern that they have to go around the barrels, and then it's timed, and best time wins.
How many people will that draw?
Be nice.
Oh my gosh, dude! Like just participants alone for like when we've had team roping events where there was like 400 teams. Now some of that is like repeat teams or whatever, but it can get pretty ridiculous. We're bringing in 50 extra pins for a rodeo we have coming up, and we already have like over 100. So I mean, we're gonna have a lot of people out here.
All right, I'm interested in the business here. Now, 400 people in the team, in
Right.
participants, right? They don't all get paid. They're not like everybody's going to get paid out of those 400 people, right?
No. I'm sure that they only pay like a certain top. I don't know if
winners. The winners get paid.
Yeah, because the winners get paid.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, how many spectators will come in and buy tickets?
I mean, it depends on the day, and it depends on the event if there's weather or not. Because right now it's semi covered or whatever. But at the end of this season, they're actually going to put the whole arena. They're going to build a cover for the whole arena and the grandstands and everything. So it'll all be indoors next year. So this year we still deal with weather and stuff like that. So that'll affect the turnout sometimes. But usually it's pretty well attended. A lot of it's local people anyway. So I mean,
you're basically telling me you don't really have a good number, like an estimate. Like how many does it hold? 2,500?
Oh man, I have no idea. I mean,
yeah. You know how much tickets cost?
No.
It's a 6-state event.
It's a 6-state event. Oh, okay. How much does it cost to get into the rodeo? You mean?
Yeah.
Or to get to compete?
No, to get into the rodeo for spectators.
Oh, I don't know. What is this for spectators, man?
Oh, spectators?
Yeah.
Depends, $10 to $20 per car.
$10 to $20 depending on what the event is.
Okay. But you have no idea about the actual number of like spectator.
Yeah, because
like,
we don't pay attention to that because that's not, we're the groundskeepers. We make sure that
I get it.
make sure the shit is up.
I'm just curious on how lucrative a business this is. You should, because you should be aware of these things because you work for them. You want to know how much money they're making compared to how much money they're paying you.
Right. Yeah. No, we've had compensation discussions before that didn't go very well.
I know.
Because I mean, here's my thing. I don't have to know the exact numbers to know when I'm getting screwed.
I know. But I like to get a good gauge of what things are really making and how much money this thing is really producing, how much revenue.
I feel like we should change the subject because I'm starting to get that look from my wife. You know the look.
Is it the biggest business in Grants, or is there something bigger in Grants?
Man, I don't. It's definitely not the biggest business in Grants. I mean, I don't even know what the biggest business in Grants is. Probably the fucking internet company.
Paper mill. Paper mill.
Oh, the paper mill. There's a paper mill apparently.
Paper mill. What? Don't you need water for a paper mill?
I mean, I guess.
There's not a river or anything, because usually paper mills.
Yeah, no, there's a river here.
Uranium around here.
What's the river?
What is the name of our river here? I don't even know.
Of our what?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to this shit. I don't give a shit.
Hey, the name of what?
The river? The river that runs through town? No one knows. We're 3 people in this house and none of us know.
I know. Wow. No, I know this. That's what walk is called. That's what the river's called. Yes, the river walk.
Yeah, it's called the river walk, but what's the name of the river?
That's him, not me.
I was clarifying.
Well, you know what? Most people here don't know the name of the river either. We have a town called Riverhead, and we have a river walk, and people just call it Riverhead, but they don't know the name of the river. And I bet you, if I went out and surveyed the people of Long Island, I said, "What's the name of the river that Riverhead is?" That they have no idea. I know, because I'm curious about these things.
I mean, it's a little. The only reason that I really don't know is I haven't gone.
It's the Zuni River.
It's the Zuni River.
Yeah.
Okay, she looked it up. It's the Zuni River.
Now, when the drought thing, does it dry up?
Yeah, it definitely dries up. It gets pretty bad sometimes.
So that paper mill must be like hurting then when there's a drought. The paper mill.
I mean, everything in this town is hurting. This town is a dying town. I'm telling you.
Ever since the uranium plant shut down.
Yeah, when the uranium plant shut down, then
7,000.
Then this town really took a dive.
7,000 people left when the uranium plant shut down.
Oh wow! So my wife is telling me that 7,000 people left town when the uranium plant shut down.
Well, family.
So.
The population was 9,163 at the 2020 census. I'm looking at elevation 6,460 feet. So you're like a mile up.
Yeah, no, and I mean, we have, because we're in mountain territory here, because we have Mount Taylor just to one side of us, and then we have the Zuni Mountains to the other side of us.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But now, where you lived in South Dakota, that wasn't like mountainy, right?
No, not where I lived. The east side of the state is more prairie territory. The west side of the state is where you got the Black Hills and stuff like that.
Well, good morning, children. It is time for our daily geography lesson. Let's learn about Grants, New Mexico.
Oh, my God. It's so sad.
Where is it? Grants, city of Grants. Here it is, Grants, New Mexico. It's right on Route 66, the historic Route 66. I
mean, they're being pretty liberal with those pictures, I'm going to say. Because
right now it's 58 degrees.
Now, see, this thing is cool, but it's not always lit up like it is. Like it was that little little highway looking sign that you can drive your car into and take pictures. That's kind of cool.
Right.
But see, like I don't know where the hell that is. That looks like it's at Blue Water.
Grants, New Mexico.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
a
cool car.
57 Chevy.
Yeah.
Man,
Probably
that's my favorite car.
Bel Air, right? That's what that was.
Yeah, 57 Chevy Bel Air, and it was baby blue with white trim. That is exactly my favorite car.
Me too.
Color and everything.
I know. I almost bought one. It was only like they were $2,500 at the car show, and I didn't have it on me, and I definitely wanted it. But one of those things come back tomorrow, and they're never around tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Says 58 degrees Fahrenheit there. That's pretty chilly this time of year. I mean,
It is. Well, yeah. So it's the desert still. So it gets chilly at night. When the sun goes down, it gets cold. Because that breeze just really cuts down the temperature. But then as the day goes on here, it'll warm up. I bet you can get up to, I don't know what our highs is today, but I bet you it gets up to like
87 for today.
80 something for sure.
With 40% chance of rain.
We worked most of all day yesterday.
Grants is a gateway to a number of national parks, monuments, and Native American pueblos.
It is. There's a lot of cool stuff to see, like within 20 minutes of Grants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, some of it's shut down right now. I think though.
But no people. Sure. I mean, 9,000 people is not a lot of people for an area that big.
No, and I think that that's liberal because, like, I don't think that that's definitely accurate at all. Like, not from what I see. But then again, people could be saying it a lot too.
Yeah, and they're hiding a lot of their, they got a lot of them in the basement. They don't let them out. They're like terrible people. We keep my ugly family down in the basement and don't let them. The city of Grant's located at the foot of Mount Taylor, an inactive stratovolcano, which was named in 1849 for then President Zachary Taylor. It's the highest point in the San Mateo Mountains and in the Cibola National Forest at 11,301 feet. Wow.
Yeah, I've been to the top of that too, by the way. My whole family, we went up there.
Then they have a live stream. You should get on that. A live stream for Grants, New Mexico.
Trust me, if I don't, your dad checks my phone to make sure.
You should be the host of that. You should be the daily host of the live stream. Oops, that's the wrong thing.
Which I get.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll figure it out. What are you doing?
I didn't need to.
Oh my gosh!
I'm getting butt wiped. Thank you.
It's all right. God damn.
What's going on over there? Is Dean there? Are you fighting with Dean?
No, I'm just talking to my wife. That's all. Sounds about the same, but
it sounds about the same, right? Or this sounds like it's staged. Is this a Jerry Springer show? Am I watching a Jerry Springer show?
No, listen. We say all the time that we should just have a camera crew in this house because it is ridiculousness all the time. Like my son was remarking yesterday how ridiculous the argument my wife and I were having. He was like, "I just want to let both of you know, both sides of that argument, completely stupid." Like my son sat us down and had a talk about our behavior.
No, I get it. I totally get it. My brother was talking about girls again. Like he's 70 years old, and he's trying to impress some young girl, and I'm like, why, man? I said, you know what? When you're married for a certain amount of time, you come home and you say hello, and when nobody answers, you go, oh, that's good.
That was nice. That was real nice. I heard this joke when I was a kid. There's 3 types of sex. All right. There's house sex for a married couple. There's 3 types of sex. There's house sex when you're newly married and you have sex in every room, all over the house, right? Then after you've been married a few years, there's bedroom sex. Things are a little slower now. You just have sex in the bedroom. Then after many, many years of marriage comes hallway sex, where you just pass each other in the hall and say, "Fuck you."
That's true. Pretty much true. So today my guest is Lisa Polizzi. she's one of the hardest working young women in show business, but at the level of show business that is way below national stardom, even so. Uh,
Right.
do you
Which is
have?
easy to do.
Yeah. So now, are there any clubs in Grants or within like half hour?
There's one place that does music in Grants, and that's Pizza Nine, and they do, I think, once a month, maybe twice a month. They might bring in a music act, and they have karaoke on Wednesdays and Fridays. And if they have music, it's on a Friday usually. So, and then I think there's a bar in, what's the name of it? San Rafael. Yeah, there's a bar in San Rafael called Palomas, I guess. And they probably do some stuff. Other than that, anything else is like an hour away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even when I was out there, it was really sparse, but they would like have bands come in and play like a rodeo grounds or something like that. Like,
Yeah, so there is, so like right adjacent to our trailer, we have what is called the Cow Palace, which is an event hall that is on the rodeo grounds, and that gets rented for like weddings and sometimes funerals and high school graduations. And that's actually, we're going to have a show there November 11th. That's going to be, it's on Veterans Day, November 11th. It's Veterans Day. It's going to be a big show. I'm bringing Alex Elkin in from Portland, Oregon. He's a really funny guy. He's done a lot of work with the USO and been overseas and stuff like that. Veterans, or not just veterans, but military ID gets you into the show free. We're going to do that because it is Veterans Day. We're definitely going to,
I do Veterans Day shows every year at a hall, at a Veterans Hall here, and it is the worst experience in
oh
show
no.
business. No, I'm not saying yours will be. Mine is because first of all, you get people from all generations. When you put out, so we still get people from the greatest generation, the World War II generation, and
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've read that book, by the way.
They're 100 years old, and they come out, and so no matter where they sit, no matter where they are, it's too loud. This is too loud. And then you get people from like the Iraq wars and Afghanistan wars who are relatively young, and they want a party. They want it loud. They want it, So it's always like with like referees between vets, like, and you have the people from the Vietnam era who are kind of like in between them. But it's just I got notes. They come up. The old ladies come up with notes. Band is too loud. Please, we didn't start yet.
We didn't start yet. Oh my God. Oh, that's great.
We were just testing out doing a sound check or whatever, testing the sound system, and it's too loud. So it's never fun. It's never fun, but we do it every year. But so November, is it an outdoor thing?
No, it'll be inside.
Oh,
yep, it'll be inside.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say maybe I should rent out that hall and do a show with Hank Porter and the Lonesome Cowboys and promote it up big and you come down do a show in Grants, New Mexico, just for the hoot of it.
Dude, that'd be all, and that would go over great here. And as long as you plan it out far enough, like it's definitely you can't sell alcohol in there, but you can bring alcohol. It's weird, right? So we figured out a loophole of selling cups. So yeah,
selling cups.
Yeah. So you can't sell alcohol, but you can sure bring in some kegs and sell those fucking cups.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can give the beer
off the truck yesterday.
You can give the beer away.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You're buying the cup. Yeah.
Okay. When I first got to New Mexico in 1976, the county was still a dry county. Roosevelt County was still a dry county from Prohibition. It still was no alcohol allowed in the county since 1920. Well, yeah, when prohibition was there. So we had to drive to another county. Actually, I had to go to Texas to buy alcohol. We could go to Clovis and go to the package store, what they call it. They had to drive. It was a restaurant, but they had a window you could go up and buy a bottle or something from.
I remember in Texas. Texas was the first place I ever went to where they actually had a liquor store you could drive into, and they would just come up to your window, like it was like an old car wash or something that they just converted into a drive-in liquor store.
Yeah, that's what they have in Clovis, and those are big in West Texas and Lubbock and Amarillo and all those. Yeah. Drive-in store, drive-through package.
Trip me out, man.
Yeah. Last night I needed a drink. I didn't have one, but I'm not a drinker, and I don't rarely have had that. I need a fucking drink.
Right.
For me. That's a really odd statement to make, and I don't have.
I get it sometimes. Every once in a while, I get it, especially if I've been if it's been a long, hard day or whatever. You just want one to like relax you or whatever.
Yeah. I needed a whiskey. I needed a whiskey last night, and I don't have my car because my car is in the shop. I just brought it in for an inspection, and then you get the phone call. Oh, you're gonna
need there's this and this and this and this wrong.
You're gonna need rear brakes and whatever.
Actually, if you go in and you're pretty adamant about like I want this done. Like and you're like, that's pretty much how I go in now.
Yeah, but inspection they can't pass it without.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a car be inspected. That doesn't sound like something I would do.
Really? No, it's part of the law. You got to have a fresh inspection sticker. This is what gets people in trouble. You get pulled over because your inspection sticker isn't up to date, and then the cop takes you out and says, "All right, bend over, pull down your pants."
I don't know if I've registered a car in an inspection state because not every state has them.
Right. When I was in New Mexico, you didn't even have to have insurance at all. No car insurance was needed.
I think everybody has to have it now.
Yeah, but then it was you didn't need car insurance in a state. It was one of the few states left where it wasn't mandatory to buy car insurance because there was nobody to hit.
Right. One of the things that I think is kind of crazy about the laws here is that what qualifies as a dwelling, what qualifies as a house, is 4 walls and a roof. Like that's it.
Right.
Like as far as other codes and stuff like that, it doesn't have to meet shit.
Wow. Like certificate of occupancy. That kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of people living in some extreme poverty here. To be honest with you.
I know. It was always that way, and who knows if that'll ever change. Most of those people are Chicanos, indigenous people. Not all of them. You have
not all.
You have poor white people,
but they've been greatly affected.
Yeah. Of course, they always are. They're whenever we talk about race relations in America, and I don't want to get into this whole political thing, but whenever we talk about it, I always say, we talk in terms of white and black. We never talk about Native Americans.
Yeah, Chicanos, well, we did. It was just as horrendous, if not worse.
Yeah, because most people don't ever visit New Mexico because they think it's like a foreign country. They don't even think it's part of America.
Well, and South Dakota has quite a large Native population as well. They have the Sioux tribes up there.
Right.
And so, I mean, I've lived a lot of places where there was a lot of Native population, and I've had a lot of friends that are Native, and I know a lot more about the truth of what went on in those days, and it's like heartbreaking. It really, there's no way to express like what we did, and sometimes still do to those people.
Well, here's my take on it. I want to make the white man to be the devil. I think there's two sides to every story, and because white people wrote the history books, we're hearing the white people's side of the story all the time.
Right.
But if you look at the reality of it, conflict happens. There's good and bad on both sides. Now, I'm not saying wiping a race of people out pretty much and putting them on little tracts of land and saying, accept this. This is what you get for losing the war is a right thing. It's a terrible thing. But,
There's nothing fair about what happened. You know what I mean? Conquering and taking over. Those things I think were destined to happen. You know what I mean? As far as America becoming what it is today, but how it became that, and the secrets that we kept to make it that way, I think are because I think that if people knew some of the dishonesty that was happening, I don't think they would have been okay with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's part of human nature too. And last night I had a guy on who's he's a rapper from Denmark. Dean's with us. Let's say hello to Dean. Dean.
Hello, Dean.
Hello, Dean.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Well, according to you, it's not going well. The stream keeps breaking up, but I'm not sure.
No, I have to go to Facebook because that's the only way to watch it.
Really?
Oh, on Twitch, it's breaking up. At the beginning, when I first started watching yesterday on Twitch, it was a little shoddy in the beginning, but then I didn't have any problems at all. But the audio was a little scratchy, I guess.
Oh, scratchy. Ooh.
Yeah, like poppy or whatever. Like
no, that's Dean's. That's Dean's fault. Dean is responsible.
I don't know why, because at Brett's stream, it's always like no problem. I don't know.
Because you're not on Brett's stream. You were on.
No, I was on Brett's stream. Well, I wasn't on. But no, I was. I was watching.
No, you were. Yeah.
So now that Dean's here, I want to clear up something from yesterday. So there was. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but we were dying in the comments section because when I switched to Twitch, my Twitch ID is Polar Bear 1981. Right. And and I kept identifying. You're like, who's Polar Bear? And I kept identifying myself, and then everybody else in the chat was identifying like it's Conway, and like I know. And every time you would notice something. It was like, dude, we were dying. We were like, I don't know how many times we got to tell him.
I know it took me like 15 times to figure it out, but then I finally did.
Yeah.
It was great. But I did promise to tell how I got this nickname of Polar Bear.
Okay.
Would you like to know?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. It's a story that happened when I was in jail. This is a long time ago, but when you're in jail, they like do morning med pass or whatever, and they're really strict about things. Like you have to be up and ready. And I had told my roommate my cellmate that morning, like, hey, make sure to keep the door open so that I can hear them yell for med pass because I was laying down or whatever. And he left the door open like this much, right? And I didn't hear him call med pass. And when I woke up really panicked. Because I knew that I had overslept. I knew that I was more rested than I should be. And I went out to the officer's desk. There was a pod officer on that block. And I went up to his desk and I was like, did they do med pass in here already? And he was like, yeah, they already did it. And I could it's floor to ceiling. It's just windows, And so I could see out to the central pod and I see the nurse with her little med cart right out there by the central pod. And I was like, well, hey, I see the nurses right there. Can she just come in and give me my meds, please? Because like I told my cellmate to keep the door open. He didn't really keep it open. I didn't hear it. And he's like, well, I'll call out there, but she's probably not going to come in here. Because like I knew they were strict about their policy. So he calls out there and I can see her shaking her head no, and he hangs up the phone and he's like, she's not going to come back in here. And I was like, look, man, I'm not on some like fluffy freaking meds here. I'm fucking bipolar. I need to have my medication. Like if I don't have my medication, we're all going to have a bad fucking day, And he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I already called out there. She said no. And I pounded on the desk. And I was like, look, man, I'm fucking bipolar and I need my fucking medication. And fucking, he was like, you need to calm down or you're going to go to the shoe. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking calm down because I'm fucking bipolar, you know, and I fucking just start really freaking out. And so the guard is like, everybody lock down, you know, and so they're going to take me to the shoe. So he hits a little button that tells the other officer outside to come into the unit. Now I know this officer. I've been in jail probably about 6 or 7 months trying to settle my case, right? And so the officers all know me very well. They know that I don't really cause trouble. And I'm still bitching at the guard that wouldn't, you know, allow me to get my meds as this other officer comes in. And I just offered my hands to him. Not really, you know, I'm talking to this guy and I offered my hands up front and he doesn't make me turn around or nothing. And he cuffs me up front. So as we're going, we leave the unit, and as we're going down the corridor to go to the elevator to go down to where the shoe is, which is a special housing unit. It's like jail for jail, basically, is what the shoe is. And so we're going down this corridor, and I'm really like, I know I fucked up, but like I don't understand what I could have done different. You know what I mean? Like my head is spinning, basically. And this officer, by the way, I would like to mention, his name was Doppenberg. He's the largest officer that Minnehaha County had to offer. Okay, the dude was a fucking tree. All right. This guy is on my right, and this Ned Flanders looking officer is on my left, and we're walking down the corridor. I'm cuffed up front, and I say to Officer Doppenberg, I said, don't you understand? If I just would have got my medication, none of this would have happened. And he was like, no, Conway, I guess I don't understand. And I don't know what it was about the indifference of his answer, but it like just snapped that switch inside of me. And I said, well, maybe you should. And I just jammed him into the wall, just body checked him like a motherfucker. And he grabs me by the shoulders and starts trying to like push me down. And I grabbed him by this muscle right here, the pectoral muscle, because I had my hands up here. I grabbed him by that pectoral muscle and threw my leg out and just tossed him to the ground. But I couldn't like balance myself because my hands were together. So I fell to the ground also. So the Ned Flanders looking dude pins my arms to my chest, and Doppenberg gets up. I kicked him in the knee, I kicked him in the groin, and I kicked him in the throat and laid him out. Just laid him out. And then by this time, guards are coming from everywhere. I mean, like every freaking, they're coming out of like parts of the corridor that I didn't even know were doors. And literally, like, they flip me over onto my belly. They're jerking on my arms. And I'm like, and they're like, stop resisting, you know, because they want me to cuff up. And then the Ned Flanders dude is like, he is cuffed. And they're like, they stop. Everybody stops for just a second. And they look over at Doppenberg and they're like, then how the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? And so they take me to the shoe or whatever. And now I tell you that so I can tell you about 18 months later, I'm in prison now, and I see this dude that I did some county time with, and we're in the rec building, and he goes, polar bear, and I'm like, and it's like he's looking at me, and he was like, the polar bear Conway, and I was like, why are you calling me that, dude? He goes, you remember that day in county where you attacked the guard? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I was asleep that morning. I didn't know anything about what happened, but his cell shared a wall with the corridor, and he heard just this massive banging around, which was me fighting with the guard in the corridor. And so when he wakes up, he comes out of his cell into the block, and he goes up to one of the older native cats, and he says, what the hell happened this morning? And this native fella looked at him. He said, some white guy was hollering around about how he was a polar bear, so they took him to the shoot.
Bipolar polar bear.
Yeah.
That story, Dean, if you could flip sideways, if you can, because I like the yellow. I like the yellow shorts and all, but let's prevent that from. But that story has a little bit of Ron White in it. His tater salad story. Yeah. I could just see like 30 years later, you're in New York City and some cop is like bringing stuff up. Are you William
The
Polar Bear Conway?
Yeah. You end up getting a lot of nicknames in prison, really. If you're in there for any amount of time, you end up having quite a few. Like my first nickname in prison was Radio, because when you go into the fish tank, you don't have radios, you don't have television or whatever. And I was in there for like 3 days, and then my cellmate was just a parole violator, so they took him out. So I'm in my cell all by myself, and I would just sing songs to myself to like fill the time. And then one day my neighbor asked me to sing, and the next thing I know, I'm getting requests from the whole cell block, and I was just singing out into the cell block. I'd get up by my door, and like every night after chow for like probably about 8 or 9 days when I was in the fish tank, I would sing to the whole cell block after the evening chow. And so they called me Radio. They would be like, "Where's the radio at? Turn the radio on."
Pretty cool. That's a good thing to be known as.
Turn the radio on.
So, turn on your radio. Wow. So did you get any lasting trouble for that? Like get time added on for that little outburst with the guards?
It's very interesting that you asked that, because so that was the second physical altercation that I had in county. I had a fight with an inmate that I had previously, like in my first 30, 60 days, something like that. And I did more time for that in the shoe. I did more shoe time for that fight with the inmate than I did for that attack on the guard. But I think that they were really trying to avoid me pursuing them, not giving me my meds, because if I'd have pursued them for because this is my psychotropic medication, right. You know what I mean? And it's not like it wasn't putting anybody out for that lady to come in and give me the medication that their doctors say I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So I think that they felt like maybe they took it easy on me because they kind of looked at the situation as a whole, you know?
And you had a temporary insanity excuse built in.
A little bit, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting though, because I would assume that you probably gotten some added on time for that kind of stuff.
I mean,
did you learn your lesson and get up on time for the meds the next day?
I mean, they just bring them to you and open your little port door.
All right.
Because you don't need that room. So
Dean is taking his meds one toke over the line. Sweet Jesus is what Jamie is saying.
Well, here I'll join you. I got a little medication myself.
That's not right. It's not right because I have to wait. And so it's not right. You guys are doing this without me.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So before you told us that story and before Dean came on, Dean, you fucking pothead. I was about to tell you about last night on the program because it's eye-opening for me. Guy was a Danish rapper, hip-hop, but in Danish hip-hop guy who was from Palestine, went to Denmark as a kid. His family was a refugee. They ended up in Denmark. Now, he can't become a citizen of anything. He can't go back to Palestine, Lebanon, or any of those places because he's a refugee, has no citizenship there. Denmark won't let him become a citizen. So he got into gangs. He became a gang member in Denmark. Now, Denmark, Bloods and Crips and stuff. When I think of Denmark, gangs doesn't come to mind. I think of gangs. I think of L.A., Chicago, maybe even Albuquerque might have gangs, but you don't think of
Oh
it
yeah.
in Denmark. So that was an eye opening to me. This guy was a gang leader at 11 and 12 years old, and was sort of and was in the papers as a spokesman, a leader for this Muslim refugee movement, because they were, they had absolutely no rights. He still has no rights to this day. He can't leave Denmark. He has no passport or anything. He can't leave the country, but he's not a citizen, so he can't go
What?
any place where he could be a citizen.
Now, see, that don't make no sense.
Right.
If you're not going to
No,
get the dude citizenship, you should at least allow him to leave.
Right. You
yeah,
should
but that's
welcome him
not,
leaving.
Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Like get on out. Yeah. That to me that's supremely stupid, because that like where's the sensibility in that at all?
Right. Right. What do
did you do the interview? Because I was seen online, like it was aborted. You don't speak Danish. Did it end up happening?
I don't know. He went to jail for.
No, but did you do the interview?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
That's the guy he had
Yeah.
on last night.
Yeah. He went to jail. I think he killed somebody. I don't know, but the name of his book is "Instead We Became Evil," but it's all about his life, getting into the gangs at 11 or 12 years old, becoming a leader, becoming known as, because he didn't start out, committing crimes and stuff. He started out by going to the city council to speak up for the Muslim at 11 or 12 years old. To speak up for this community that had no rights whatsoever. They were refugees, and saying how they were being mistreated by everybody. And that led to him being seen as a troublemaker in the press all the time. And then the people in the neighborhoods started attacking him. Now, this is where it gets really mind-blowing for me. He said the Nazis came out, and there were, in the town that he's in, a large faction of real Nazis, not like neo-Nazis, but people wearing swastikas, marching, goose-stepping,
Oh, really?
and beating up the Muslims, and they were being supported by the local police. Like they didn't have any problem with the real Nazis. I'm like,
that's not surprising at all. Even even in America, they don't care about the Nazis. Like I've been in anti-Nazi protests, and the real Nazis there, white supremacists. The police were backing them up.
right.
That's in Portland, Oregon. I'm
Right.
sure it happens in New York too.
Yeah, no, that you're absolutely right. It did happen in New York not too long ago. Like over in the springtime, there was a Nazi rally or something, and the police were protecting the Nazis from the people who were protesting Nazis having a rally. But these guys were actually committing violence, and the police were just letting them beat the hell out of the Muslim people. And so it was just mind blowing. But then he became a rapper. Got out of it because they tried to kill him. The Nazi, there was an attempt on his life, assassination attempt when he got out of jail, and basically he decided to get out of the life, became a rapper. That's why.
Oh yeah.
Slayman, did you ever
I
hear?
need to go back and listen, my dog. I have to listen to this podcast.
Yeah. It was mind blowing to me. Just all this stuff. Now he's written a book about it, and the guy who he's written a book about is a black guy who's from Boston, who was kind of moved by his story and kind of sees correlation between Black Lives Matter and all the stuff that they're going through in America, and a correlation there. But to me, this guy's story was so fascinating, and it's just mind blowing to me because I didn't know any of this. You think about Nazism. I think, okay, Germany, I could see they still have Nazi factions.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
come
in
in
Europe.
Germany too. In Eastern Europe, I didn't know about Denmark, but Europe has lots of Nazis.
I always think of Denmark as like a peaceful, cold. I don't know.
And actually, I'm pretty sure that Germany actually they don't even allow the Nazi flag to be flown in Germany.
No, but they have Nazis there.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't think they're very supportive of it or whatever. But the part of why I wanted to bring that up though is that The Nazi flag's not allowed in Germany. So do you know what the Nazis over there fly?
The American flag.
Well,
The
they have a
Confederate
party called the MP, the Nationalist Party.
They
so
often fly the Confederate flag.
The Confederate flag.
And
Yeah.
but there's also different runes. You know, different Nordic runes the Nazis co-opted, and they use some of those.
Wow.
I've been in anti-Nazi protests in Germany like several times, and yeah. They're finding runes and stuff.
Wow. Runes.
Runes.
Oh, runes.
You know, like
runes. Yes, I got it.
Celtic, like writing, ancient
Like
Celtic
magic.
writing.
Yes. Got it. What's that blue thing we're looking at in the corner of your shot there?
The blue.
The blue, yeah, right up by, but no, up by the camera, closer to the camera. It looks like a urinal. It looks like a urinal. No.
Oh my god.
No,
Okay. Yeah. Was it his coffee cup? I think it was his coffee
cup. Yeah.
Oh, it's my coffee cup. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, stop with that shot, please.
Thirst trap.
Oh my god.
Now, because we don't want to see underwear. I'm not sure that's
it's not underwear. It's short.
I get it.
My god.
Anyway, are you guys Janis Joplin fans? Dean, are you a Janis?
Yes,
Joplin?
I'm excited for your guest today. I've and my wife. She's working, otherwise she'd be watching the show. But my wife is a huge Janis Joplin fan. So.
Well, she just disappeared. She was here waiting to come in. Now her camera went to black, so we're gonna wait a few minutes to see if that comes. If it comes back on. I don't know what happened there. I know she's connecting from a phone. Dean, you're on a phone, right?
I'm also on the phone.
Everybody's on a phone except for me. I should get on a phone. So it looks like I've lost it completely now. Like it's not connected. Lisa, if you can hear me, you might want to leave the room and come back in. And yeah, you go. That's what you just did. Anyway, Slayman and Dart were the two guys on. Now, have you ever heard of Slayman? Because apparently, Dean, he's big in Denmark as a rapper. Now, this is surprising to me. Rap, Danish rap. I said, do you rap in him? His heroes are like Tupac and Jay-Z and like.
Tupac. It's not Tupac. God,
man.
Yeah, right.
Tupac.
God. One pack.
Tupac.
That's because you're a one pack.
Yeah, yeah. I got one in my pack. Yeah.
Lisa Polizzi is with us.
Hello,
Good
Lisa.
morning, Lisa.
Hello.
For people who don't know, Lisa is one of the hardest working young ladies in show business today. She has about 700 bands that she actually runs and manages, and one of the most, I guess, the pearl of her bands is the Janis Joplin Experience, which is a tribute, and she does some really amazing channeling of Janis Joplin. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Right.
How come I can't see you?
You can't see us?
No, I only see myself.
That's weird. I don't know. I don't know. That's never happened to me. Has that ever happened to you guys? I'm not on a phone. Dean.
Well, I'm on a laptop, but they're all like 3 little dots here. Should I click those? I don't want to click.
You know what? You're kind of fortunate you didn't see that shot.
Yeah, you're really fortunate.
I want to introduce you to William Conway, who is up on he's a comedian from Grants, New Mexico, actually originally from Sioux Falls, actually from Iowa, but then South Dakota and now New Mexico. And Dean, Dean is our resident
down.
I guess sometimes co-host, sometimes just like drama queen, sometimes pain in the ass, and often guy in his underwear.
I'm not wearing my underwear.
I know you're not wearing your underwear. You're not wearing any underwear. So then, if you're not wearing any underwear, definitely don't scroll down. So Lisa, what's going on with you with your schedule now? You are, as I mentioned, you have so many bands. How do you manage it all and keep it like copacetic?
I was in like 4 or 5 at a time. I cut it down to 2.
Oh, really?
I do like fill-in spots, but
my schedule is usually so full. I don't even have time to like fill in with other bands anymore. But I do a lot of solo shows. I have my cover band, the Lisa Polizzi band, which I started in 2013. But those guys, they actually have a separate band. They're in a metal band called Riot Act, and they're on tour in the UK right now. So I'm doing a lot of solo stuff until they get back.
Wow, your band left you.
Yeah.
That sucks. Well, now how often is the Janice thing going working?
We're doing pretty good. I mean, we're lucky we do once a month maybe, but I don't want to water it down either. We're playing this Saturday in Patchogue.
What, the Patchogue Theater?
No, 89 North.
89 North. I'm surprised that place is still open because it had changed ownership now. Kevin Sheehan, he's like monopolizing the clubs on Long Island. Like he's buying up everything that's not a beach hut.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Who's on the bill with you? Is it just a Janice experience?
No, actually, on before us is an AC/DC tribute. I know it's a weird lineup, but
right.
No, that's cool. That's super cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Now, with the tribute thing, I'm noticing a lot of bands who are doing the tribute thing are really taking off, but they're becoming touring acts as if, like the acts that they're tributing to. But a lot of lucrative stuff in that. I mean, playing some really big, some guys I know just did an amphitheater in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania somewhere. They sold out to 8,000 people in an amphitheater.
Oh, wow.
Are you?
There was this band from Japan with like a Ramones tribute band, and they toured over the world playing the Ramones.
So what about that, Lisa? I mean, is that in cards for you? I know how difficult it is to kind of get, like even with your cover band, those guys had an offer to go on tour in the UK and blah, 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 and they got. With the Janice, is that an issue to kind of put together a tour like that?
No. Sorry about my dogs. But,
is that the band?
That's Elvis and Scooby.
Wow, you're getting attacked.
Come here. My tenant closed the door downstairs and I heard it.
The dog doesn't want you to go on tour, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's what triggered it. The word tour. But is that a possibility to actually put together?
If I had the right agent, definitely. We have one agent. Her name is Gwen. She gets us into like upstate New Jersey. That's as far as we've gotten so far.
Right. Are there, because there is one other Janice thing that in the United States that is kind of big like that. And
yeah. Well, you had the guys, come here. You had the play on Broadway. I mean, I auditioned for that. I got 3 callbacks, but the one who does it is Mary Bridget Davies. I think right now they have it in like going on in Japan or something. Not with her, of course. It's a Japanese. I would love to hear how they sing Janice in Japanese.
Well, I was just talking about a guy who raps. He's a Danish rapper, and it's like that's got to be weird. I mean, I never got an answer to the question: do you rap in English or do you rap in Danish? Because rapping in Danish that would sound really weird, right?
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead. You guys got something to say?
Well, I have a question for Lisa.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, Lisa, being a Janis Joplin tribute, are you more careful eating ham sandwiches?
Ham sandwiches?
Right.
All right, I'm trying to think what that's referring to.
What isn't that what she choked on? I thought that's what she choked on.
Mama Cass from the Mama's.
Was it Mama Cass that choked on a sandwich?
Yes.
That would make more sense.
Yeah,
oh, Janice was alcoholism, wasn't it?
But no, Janice died of an overdose or something,
Heroin.
right?
Yeah.
Heroin. Yeah, okay. See, I always thought she was the sandwich.
I thought the rumor was that they all died choking on vomit, like Jimi Hendrix. All
well, I mean, you do kind of, yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you OD. Or that's that's one of the things that if you're not careful.
But they all, the 27 was the number that they were all. Why is the dog angry? The dog is never. I've talked to you this way before, and the dog has never been angry. Why is the dog angry?
You said tour.
Come here. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. She's angry. Now when we played
I
at
heard
Catch,
German rap before though.
what?
I've been to German rap concerts. I've heard rap in German. If it's in German, why not Danish?
Oh, Danish. In Danish, they speak German. I thought there was a
No, I mean
special.
it's similar. Why not? If you can rap in
Spra-
German, why
Sprachen Sie
not?
that's what it would sound like to me. Lisa, when we played at Catch Venetian Shores on, I think it was right after 4th of July weekend, you came
Yeah.
up and sat in with us. Now, my brother was there from out of state who he's never seen me perform before.
Ah,
And
wow, that's nice.
Really?
yeah, he never saw me with a band before. And you came up and you did 2 Janis songs, and plus you did some other stuff. But he asked me, why do you have, because there were lots of other guest singers that came up that night. He said, why do you have so many singers in the band? I said, they're not all in the band. We just like to have people up. He said,
Yeah.
the girl who did Janis, he said, because that's why I brought up the other Janis tribute. He's in North Carolina, and he saw a Janis tribute there, and he said
Ah,
the
okay.
girl you had doing the Janis stuff, that was the best I've ever seen. I felt like, and he's old enough, like he's 70 years old. He's old
Oh,
enough to have seen Janis Joplin. He said that was the best I've ever seen, and he said she was just fabulous. I
ah,
think I was standing next to you, and I was like looking at you like you were channeling. I mean, I
oh,
don't want to get too. You were channeling the Janice energy like nobody's ever seen it before. So I just want to let you know that people were just amazed by how you become Janice. Now you're too young to have ever
yeah.
experienced that. So where
She
does that come
passed
from?
before I was born. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to be careful, Matt, because you're making her face about as red as her hair.
that's cool. Well, no, Lisa's sung with us many times, but that night was like very magical. But really, where did you? How were you able to become Janice, having never actually experienced that? Like you're way too young to have ever experienced that.
I don't know. I think I just absorb things. Um,
You feel it.
Oh,
yeah.
I tell Mikey all the time. Sometimes I think your head is going to turn around because you look like you are having, an out of body experience. Well, I use the word channeling,
Yeah.
and it sounds
Yeah.
goofy, but that's it. I mean, you're not Lisa Polizzi anymore. You spiritually become somebody else.
Oh, I feel it. Actually, there was this. Katie's in Smithtown. It's supposedly haunted, right?
Right.
And we did a gig there back in March. Now, I've had my glasses of wine before, so I'm not even going to say that was the reason. But the next day after the Janice show, I didn't remember anything from the night before.
Wow.
And I talked to my guys. I even asked them, I said, did I pay you? They said, yeah, why? You didn't get paid? I said, I remember nothing. They said, well, you seem fine. I was like, I don't remember it. And then I'm looking for my salad that I had. Supposedly, I didn't finish it the night before. Me and James, we stopped at Subway, and I had a salad in the car. I woke next afternoon, looking for it. And I said, where's my salad? He's like, I don't know. And I found the container in the garbage. And he's like, yeah, and you ate my Chinese food. I said, no, I didn't. He said, yes, you did.
Wow. Wow. And one glass of wine can't do that. No.
No, I had one, but me and Mike, my guitar player, we always share a bottle of wine while we're drinking. But that was the first time where I just didn't remember anything next day. So
Right.
I'm thinking it had to do with that Katie's, I don't know. It was so weird.
Yeah, there is a weird energy in there. And what's weird about that club, people not on Long Island don't understand or never seen Katie's. Katie's is they have a really high stage and a really low ceiling. So it's like
Yeah.
they put you in a box. It's kind
Yeah.
of weird.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I've been on stages that, it puts you like just 6 inches maybe from the rafter.
Yeah, the stage is like 5 feet high. And then the ceiling is like 7 feet above the stage, so it looks really weird. It
Yeah,
feels like, and it has a weird feeling that you're boxed in. But there is a
yeah.
ghost story about that place. It's like the
Yeah.
Comedy Store. Like there's spirits in there. Uh,
Yep.
Now I want to talk about because people look at you and they think, well, gigging, how that's an easy life. But I know what you really go through with all the phone calls. Or you just talked about paying the band. That it's no small thing to keep the business part of that together.
Right.
And most people who do what you do have somebody doing that for them. They have an agent, but you do it all yourself. You put the bands together. You manage the rehearsal schedules. You book the gigs.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. Give people some idea of what that life is.
It's a lot of stress. You constantly, like, certain places, you got to maybe every couple of months just keep messaging them. Like, for instance, I've been singing at this place in Greenport called Billy's, and I've been singing there for the past 5 years, like every Thursday, every other Thursday. So they gave me Thursdays. But I had originally messaged her like years prior. And then one day out of the blue, she's like, I was scrolling through my messages. She goes, I needed somebody last minute. I came across your message. You want to try it? And then they've had me, but it took that long for her to get back to me, like a year or so later.
Wow.
And then, like you said, paying the band, like a lot of times, because I want to make sure my guys get taken care of. There's been, the gigs where sometimes you're shorted pay, or you're doing a fundraiser, or it's a festival that doesn't pay. I pay my guys out of pocket, just to make sure they're taken care of. So, certain things are worth doing that for, and then there's the last minute fill-in situations where, say, my guitar player, my bass player, oh my God, I forgot, me and my wife had this. So I'm like 2 days before even the day of gig, it's happened. Can you fill in with my band tonight?
She knows that she's not.
Yeah, William, I'm going to mute you for a second. There's noise going on back there. That is the worst thing for me is, and I've just about had it. I said this to Mikey recently. It's like, I got to, those gigs where you, especially the drummer, when the drummer is a sub and doesn't really know your material, it's just like, it's so difficult. It's hard. It changes everything. And we do that a lot. And it's too often, and it kills. Now with the guys, that had to be pretty frustrating for you. The Lisa Polizzi band is on tour. How often, did they do that a lot and leave you kind of like?
No, this is their first tour. They were supposed to tour when the pandemic started. They were supposed to go to Japan, and that got canceled. Their one guitar player passed away, Lou Cavaris. He was one of the original members of Riot.
Right, I remember.
So Riot is a band that my last guitar player, Rick Ventura, was also in. So he kind of like revamped it into Riot Act, and they have like new material. But this is their first tour since the pandemic. So they're going to be back. They'll be back for September 9th and 10th when I have a gig with them. Then they're leaving again for another tour, and then they'll be back in November.
Wow. Yeah, that's so are they recording?
They recorded their album already, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think it's called Into the Flame. I think that's what it's called.
Are they younger people? No, they're not. They're middle-aged, right?
They're older than me.
Yeah, everybody's older than you. Even Dean's older than you. Dean, you're older than.
I'm 43.
See? You're older than everybody.
No.
Yeah, no, so that's interesting because most people, I don't know, that's an old place to be to be still in that, chasing the original band, all that kind of stuff.
Well, they're actually really big overseas. The whole Riot thing.
I know. Yeah. Hank Porter is big over in my alter ego. Hank Porter. I had in 2004. I had 5 million downloads in Japan. 5 million. So I was like, wow, maybe I should go over there and see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to tap into that demographic?
Well, because touring, and Lisa, the big part of, transportation, equipment, all that kind of stuff, setting up venues. Not every venue is going to have their own sound system.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. It's just
you don't want to lose money either. If you lose money, it's bad.
Right.
A lot of people lose money.
Yep.
Does that happen with you, Lisa? You lose money sometimes on a gig because of things you mentioned, like getting shorted and all the crap you deal with venue owners.
From time to time, but those gigs, I take them. Like, say, these festivals. We did one we did the food festival at the Tanger Outlet.
Yeah.
It wasn't paying. I was like, you know what? The guy, the booking agency, he was like, oh, if you do for free, I'll have you back next year. Well, this is next year. I didn't get asked back, but I did it for free, and I paid my guys out of pocket.
Right. That sucks, and we do that a lot, and people don't. That I just kind of people would look at what you do and think, wow, she's got an easy life. She only works 4 hours a day, a couple of days a week. That's an easy life. I'd like that. All the headaches and crap that go.
Yeah.
So, now most people who are doing tribute bands are signing with agencies. Why do you keep it? Why are you holding on to the control of it and all that
No,
stuff?
I don't want to. I wish somebody would take us on.
Oh, I can definitely have some agents because I do. For whatever reason, a lot of tribute bands get in touch with me. Can you help me with my promo video or editing the promo video on websites and that? So I have quite a few contacts with those guys who are booking tribute. They're not based in New York. Most of them are based in New Jersey because there's a
What's what I
lot.
want? Yeah, I want off the island with it.
Yeah, that would be a great thing. Now I was showing. Because it's still on YouTube, even though we have massive copyright strikes on Being Lisa Polizzi, the series that I think we shot, or we have 7 episodes that will.
Yeah, maybe it's 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're showing that and getting some great response from people who follow this program, and that's what I should have Lisa on in the morning. Now that got canceled because we were on Roku, and I was getting all sorts of copyright infringements and all that kind of stuff, and they wanted to sue me for $80,000 at one point, and I settled that for like $1,500.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, but so that's a challenge with doing it, but that still, I think the idea behind that had some potential. If we could get like underwriters for it, I think we were starting to build an audience that was loyal to it and interested in seeing the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And just kind of getting a feel for what the life is really like. And you're very fortunate. I don't know if he's there right now. You're very fortunate to have James with you, who last gig that you got for us was a impromptu Saturday. Yeah. And all of a sudden, James was going out to the car and bringing in a light show. He's always got equipment ready
help himself.
at the ready. But it's good to have somebody like that. Most people would die to have somebody like that, somebody who's so supportive. Be with them to take care of it. So you're very fortunate to have him.
We're there. He does all the lugging and everything. Like State might have an 8 o'clock gig. We're there at 6 for him to set up.
Right.
And then the band leaves and he's there packing up end of the night. So a 3-hour gig becomes like a 7-hour gig.
It always is. That's what people don't realize. Just because you're playing for 3.5 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is, it's not a 3-hour job. It's a 14-hour job. By the time you get, talk to me about the costuming for the Janice stuff. Now you do the Janice look yourself, right? But your bandmates do their own stuff, or do you kind of?
They just go with their own style. Mike is a hippie, so he wears some cool things.
Right. How do you do that? Or do you go thrift shops?
That's what I would
I love thrift stores. Just in my everyday life, most of my clothes are thrift stores.
Yeah.
That's interesting stuff. Let me see if I can bring up while you guys talk amongst yourself for a second while I look up. I'm going to see if I can find some pictures to share with the audience here. So
my wife and I are huge thrift store shoppers and Goodwill and stuff like that, and you find amazing stuff in those places sometimes. We found a business suit for my wife for like $5 or $3 when like we were walking by it, like it wasn't something that we necessarily needed, but it looked so good and it was such a good deal. It was like, how can we not get this?
I bought the weirdest things just because it was cheap.
yeah, sure.
All right, I'm going to share some of these pictures right now. Here are. Oh no, that's not wrong. That's the wrong thing. Excuse me, right there. Hold on. Stop sharing.
I can't even see it.
You can't see it. That's good.
It's weird. I don't know why.
Share screen. Chrome tab. Here it is. Facebook, right? There she is. There you go. Here's
Oh, nice.
yeah. Black and white version.
There you go.
Now that the next one doesn't seem to be Janice. It seems to be a 60s hippie look, but it doesn't look like Janice. This is a
From
different one.
the 89 North where I have like
Yes,
the
yes.
boots. Yeah, I did a wardrobe change and then I came out and did Jefferson Airplane. So I changed.
Oh, okay.
Right. You also do Grace Slick. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Lisa Polizzi band. I want to get to some more Janice picks though. From I know I have some big shows. That one that I don't even know if it's still in existence. That's James. The place. Here you go, Janice on the couch here.
Nice.
There was the place in Bayshore, like Railroad Avenue or something, really big, gigantic hall, and you did a show there, the Janice show. And we featured that on the television show.
Oh yeah, where was that? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember the name of the place. I don't even think it's still open anymore. But it was a gigantic hall.
Those are great shots.
Oh yeah, I should
On
slow
the saddle,
down on
those saddle shots are great.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
Yeah, Lisa can't see these to describe these to us.
Oh, yeah,
really weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why you can't see them, but
know. Like I'm afraid to touch them. Like I have let me see. If I touch 3 dots, no, it doesn't do nothing. If I scroll down, it just says you're on the show. That's all it says.
Wow.
I promise you're here.
Well, anyway, we've seen some, but I just wanted to give. Oh, here's a clip I could play. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but what the hell? Let's do it anyway.
Fucking bad.
Yeah, there it is. What the hell? I mean, I could always mute it later on, but.
Bring another little bit of my heart and darling, yeah. Have another little piece of my heart now, baby. Well, you know you got it if it makes you feel blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Freedom is just another word. Oh, nothing left to lose. Nothing. What's all that finally left me? Yeah. Feeling good was easy now when he sang the blues. Yeah, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me, my baby. Down on me. Down on me. Down on me. Hey, it looks like everybody is down on me.
See that?
Down on a little bit of my heart.
Yeah, let me end it. So right there, you saw a little bit of you became somebody else. That wasn't you at the end there. You just like what a spiritual transformation there. It's unusual. Now that the band has been together. That you haven't had any personnel changes with that band. That's the band's been together since you started, right?
For a couple of years. The first year, actually, the first few shows, I had a different lineup every show for the first year.
Oh, really? But Mike, the guitar player, was always part of it, right?
Not from the beginning. I had, my first guitar player was Johnny Mack.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second one was John Hasseth. And both of them left. There just wasn't enough gigs for them. And I said, well, I'm not going to water it down. So
that's always the problem. Yeah, is with keeping guys interested in the project is keeping them working enough. Yeah. And with the tribute thing, you can't work every weekend with that on Long Island unless you get off the island and get start at least tri-state area stuff. You can't be working enough to keep people interested.
Janis Joplin said it herself in an interview. Somebody asked her why she left, Port Arthur, Texas, to go to like Los Angeles. And or California, that's where it was happening. She's like, well, you can only play to the same 20 people so much,
Right, yeah.
I feel that 100%.
Yeah. See, William gets on a bus to go perform comedy 1,500 miles from where he takes.
Yeah, 1,000, about 1,000 miles. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So he knows that life all too well. I mean, and
Yeah.
it is, they say even Jesus wasn't a hit in his hometown.
Yeah.
No.
And do you get recognized if you're like local and you're out somewhere that people say, "Oh, you're Janis Joplin," or
It's happened. Yeah.
yeah. You know what?
That's got to be cool.
Yeah, no, it would be very cool. You should get some underwriting from some of these thrift stores that are,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, sponsored by whatever.
You have to see the looks like that, like when I'm on the way to the gig, because I show up to the gig dressed as Janice. I'm already in my garb.
Right.
And
yeah, that's great.
we have to stop at 7-Eleven to get a soda or something. I walk in, people are like,
can I get a picture with you? That's what I would do. I'd be like, can I get a picture with you quick?
We get sponsored by a freeze pipe.
What's this chick?
Sponsored by Freeze Pipe, you say, Dean? I don't know.
Yeah, like Joey Diaz and the Andrews, they sponsor lots of people.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Janice wasn't known as like a big pothead?
No, she was known more for Southern Comfort.
Southern Comfort.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, you know what?
That was her job.
They're bigger than Freeze Pipe.
Yeah, that much better sponsor. If we could reach out to Southern Comfort and say the Janis Joplin Experience sponsored by Southern Comfort. Are you kidding me?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be the best case scenario.
You know
probably.
what? If you need help with that, I'd be glad to help out with that and figuring out how to make that approach, writing a letter or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. I mean, I think that's important. When we used to, back in the 90s, my buddy Ralph, who calls in every once in a while, he's the guy who sounds like Andrew Dice Clay. He ran the Continental Club in Bayshore. And there were bands that used to come in sponsored by Jägermeister or sponsored by Southern Comfort Oil. And they had the best shows because they were underwritten by liquor companies. But it was all about pushing the product at that point. So every 3 songs, let's do a shot of Jaeger, like because they were the sponsor.
Right.
The shot girls walking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think I'm gonna do with these free beer shows? Like, let's go get a beer.
Oh yeah. So William works at the rodeo grounds in Grants, New Mexico, but they have a show place there. And I said, you know what? I want to go out there and do a show. We should. I know it's a huge thing to get people all the way out to New Mexico. A Janis Joplin show. What would that pack out the rodeo grounds, William?
Dude, I think because you got to remember that they're very like Americana around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're, this is on the Route 66 and everything like that. So people get excited for nostalgia stuff here. Very much so.
Yeah. That would be cool to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. My wife would go bananas.
I like Americana music.
Yeah.
Americana music? Is it?
Yeah.
Like folk, country.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Janis is more considered classic rock, I think, than Americana.
It's a little bit bluesy though.
Yeah, blues, classic rock. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, for the benefit of the audience here, you know, other than the Janis stuff, your specialties, you do Grace Slick, but you do just about everybody, right? So you go from hard rock. Do you do any like Stevie Nicks or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other artists that you really like to cover?
Let's see. Patsy Cline, Shania Twain. I throw a little punch in.
Right.
Great stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Donna Summer, James
Great.
Brown,
Yeah.
Beatles, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna. Oh my God, I try to appeal to so many different, because I love all types of music.
Right.
So like when I do my solo shows where I'm doing to the tracks, it's like I go from Patsy Cline to Zeppelin.
Solo tour.
Now I see the mailman.
What's the trigger? Is it
Tour.
something?
Yeah, we were talking about tours again.
Something.
We were talking about her leaving the house and they go crazy.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Wow, they
Yeah, if they see
smart
somebody
dog.
walking, they go nuts.
Somebody said Spice Girls. Now I did see when you did the now Farrell's is not open. You did a fundraiser at Farrell's for like a
Yeah.
hunger drive or something,
Mhm.
and you did a lot of Zeppelin stuff on that.
Yeah.
That band, that wasn't the Lisa Polizzi band though, was it?
No, I had fill-in guys because it was a charity event.
Right.
Well, I got guys to back me that were
That
willing
guy
to at
Warren.
the time.
Warren was
Yes,
a guitar player.
Warren J Maniac. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome at the Zepp stuff. Does he do a
Yes.
Zepp show or like a?
No, but his girlfriend Cheryl sings Zeppelin, so she'll do that with him usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now a lot of girls sing Zeppelin. To me, that's always a little weird because there's no guys that really, no guy singers that I see coming out doing Robert Plant. It's always women doing Robert.
Very rarely. Yeah, I know. I guess it's a high range. I guess.
Yeah,
Guys can't do it.
Yeah,
Why
I mean, even with one testicle, I find it difficult. So I mean,
and oddly enough, Dean has 3. Dean, right? You got 3 testicles, Dean?
No.
No.
do you sing any Pink?
Yeah.
I think I was gonna say that would
I
definitely.
love
be in your-
Pink.
Yeah,
I
Pink,
love-
Alanis Morissette. Yeah, but I mean, I have so many songs in my head. That's another thing. Like, I memorize lyrics. I can't be one of. I'm legally blind, so I can't read and sing. Like, unless I'm
You're-
gonna have a tablet right in front of my face while I'm singing.
You're legally blind?
Yeah.
Wow, I
So
never
that's
knew
why
that.
I memorize everything. Yeah.
Right.
How the hell do you even get up on stage?
Sometimes I'm blinded, but that's another thing. I like to use a wireless so I don't trip over a cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never knew that about you. I mean so yeah, that's got to make things even more challenging for keeping stuff together and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So being legally blind, you're putting on the Janus stuff. How do you know you're doing it right?
I
got ears.
I have a little window in my right eye that I see out of. So I'm like completely blind in the left, and then in my right I have half vision. So I see
Wow.
through the corner of my right eye.
Interesting.
Oh, I have like on the right corners of each eye.
Really?
Yeah, I can't see. I don't have any left peripheral.
wow.
Right? Yeah, so I'm like half that.
Yes, that's
Wow.
why I don't drive. People wonder why I don't drive.
Yeah, they don't let me drive either.
No.
I can't remember the last time I went to an eye doctor. So
No, me neither. I'm getting more blind by the day, but that's just an age thing.
Well, that's what
I mean, I know the
older,
last time I
I'm
went for the driving thing, I had a lot of trouble getting the vision thing. I was
Oh
super
yeah,
nervous.
the sign in the motor vehicle department.
Yeah, yeah.
I cheat. I memorize the thing before I get in there. I will go in and I'll just scatter around and then I'll look at it and then I'll write it down and I'll go out and I'll memorize it and I'll come back in for when I know I have to do the test and I'm just going by memory. Oh yeah, because I know I can't see it.
Yeah.
But see, like now they have these things you got to put your face on. Like they don't have the thing on the wall anymore.
Oh, here they still have the thing on the wall.
Oh, do they really? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Here
last
they
time
got
I
the
went,
thing you got to put your face on.
Yeah.
And but then I had to move my mask. When I moved my mask, my nose sat in there more right, I guess, and then I could see better. But
Right.
it was weird.
So, Lisa, you brought up an interesting thing here because one of my pet peeves is a lot of singers these days.
Yeah.
A lot of them with the iPhones in front of them or a tablet in front of them. Like nobody wants to even put in the effort to memorize lyrics anymore. Does that bother you when you see somebody on stage just obviously reading and not connecting? I think that's part of why you are able to lose yourself in a song is that you don't have to read.
Yeah. There's a disconnect if you're concentrating too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How can you feel the words if you're reading them?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Right. And I've gotten to a lot of heated arguments for just saying it drives me crazy to see somebody reading lyrics. I don't pay to see somebody read or even sheet music. I mean, and music stands and all that stuff. And I know in some classical music that's necessary and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when I go to see a band, I want to feel like they're connecting with me. I want to be able to look at them and know that they're, not with their face in
Yeah.
a phone or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Dude, the same thing is happening in comedy, and like it's more and more prevalent. Like I could not believe that I saw when I see headliners go on stage with a notebook. It's crazy
Headliners,
to me.
wow. I'm because
Headliners, yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, no, it's aggravating.
I've
You
had
know what I
open
mean?
micers on the show that I've complained about that and like I see
Yeah,
you on stage bringing a phone like you're reading jokes. Anybody can read a fucking joke.
yeah, no, like I don't like that. Like the only like I could see having like a set list to follow. You know what I mean? Like because like I've used set lists for my transitions. Like what I'll usually do is I'll write like a couple and it's not even like I don't even write whole things. Like I might write one, I'll write one nut stuff,
Right.
and
One
then
one nut
and
polar
then
bear.
yeah, I just just a couple like 2-3 words to tell me what's the next joke. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I
Like
get it.
that is as far as I would ever consider going, because to me anything else is unprofessional.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not from the heart.
Yeah.
Now, Lisa, when you sat in with the Rockin' 45s, we never know what the
Yeah.
hell we don't know what the hell we're gonna do. Do you with the Janice thing? I'm thinking you have a set show, like a
Yeah.
set
That.
list.
Yeah. Very set. But
Now
once in a while, I'll go off of it.
with the Lisa Polizzi band, is it the same, or do you go up there and you just like whatever feels right in the moment?
I usually let my bass player call it the songs.
Really?
Because at a time, because when I used to, he'd be like, nah, and it was just too more dead air for me to run off
Sorry.
songs. All right, well, how about this one? How about that one?
Right.
So I just let him do it.
Now you also just the solo shows you do, like at Greenport and those things. You're much more free to do just about anything you want to do.
Yeah.
To me, that's a liberating thing. When I do solo shows, it's like, thank God I don't have to worry about who knows this song and who knows that
Yeah.
song.
Yes.
Is that a more rewarding gig in a lot of ways for you? Like to be able to do whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, I always joke around saying, this band knows everything.
Yeah.
My laptop.
Right. Now, last weekend, me and Mikey played an acoustic thing at the Garden Grill, and they have a girl there now who is singing just with the phone. She's sitting in a chair and singing with the phone with tracks and stuff. But yeah, and I don't usually have a problem with that. But she was like putting on Chicago and not singing the lead part, singing the backup parts. And so you're sitting there listening to Chicago sing the track, and whenever there's a backup stuff, she's singing the backup. I'm like, that's really weird. So not only just singing, not singing with tracks, singing all backup parts, like not singing the lead parts.
That's different.
Yeah,
that's knowing your role. That's knowing your role.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me, like singing with tracks has always been a really interesting thing. There are rooms that are okay for it, but singing tracks and only singing the backup parts is really, if I were in there and I'd be like, what is this?
It's like class karaoke.
It's not, yeah, exactly. That's how it felt. It felt like not even real karaoke. Karaoke.
Yeah. Now see, like so I do a lot of karaoke because I don't have a band or anything. And I have to say that like the songs that I know, the songs that I don't have to read are definitely the songs where everybody shuts up in the place. Because that's how that's how I figured out in karaoke if you're doing good or not. Because it's always like there's always like a buzz going on in a karaoke bar. But if you can make everybody shut up, that means you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I figured that out a long time ago.
Yeah. What's the name in Greenport Place? Is it Billy's? Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Billy Frogs or just
Greenpoint?
What was that? What was
Is
that,
it
Dean?
Billy Frogs? Oh
no, I just repeated the name.
No,
It's in Greenpoint.
Greenport, I'm talking about the end of Long
Oh,
Island
Greenport. Okay.
out by Orient Point, like all the way on the North
Yeah.
Fork by
I thought
past
you were
Rhode
talking about
Island.
Brooklyn.
No, she's out in the Atlantic Ocean,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Okay.
Now you do that thing with tracks, but that crowd seems really into what you're doing. They're
Yeah.
really paying attention, and they're a really supportive crowd. Like what William just talked about, that buzz in the room. People are really paying attention to you with
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
That's
Oh, yeah, I love it there.
yeah, that's an unusual thing for those solo acts, because usually when you do the solo acts, people kind of looking at you like your background music. But
Yeah.
you're never that, because you are such a
Captivating.
yeah. She's very she becomes whoever she's doing. I mean, whatever song she's singing, she embodies it, and it's not like she's just sitting there singing.
Yeah.
You have to experience it.
I did
I will play one of the clips. But that's a whole different experience from the band experience.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I miss my guys. Like it's weird singing by yourself sometimes, but once I get into it, I'm into it. But at
Right.
first, like it's always a different crowd. You're like, okay, I hope this crowd likes me.
Now, what happened to you? Were working on another band that was more, I guess, in the hard rock vein, covers.
Adrenaline Rush, yeah.
And what happened with that? Did you just didn't have
It
time
was
for it?
just too much. Well, the thing is, like with the Lisa Polizzi band and the Janice band, we don't rehearse. So, and I'm gigging so much, but with Adrenaline Rush, they wanted to rehearse every week. I was like, and I run 2 open mics a week. I was like, with the open mics and the gigs, I just a rehearsal thrown in there. I just need a night off. I can't.
Now, the open mic stuff you're running now, is that people coming up with acoustic guitars, or are they singing the tracks? What's that?
My Thursday nights, I do in Selden where you played at the Neighbors. That's acoustic and karaoke, so you could play acoustic. We even had a guy set up a drum set. He brought his own drum set, so I was like, have at it. But it's basically acoustic, and then my Monday night at Parsnip in Ronkonkoma is a full jam. So I rotate players, and everybody jams together, full band, back line, everything.
Where is that in Ronkonkoma?
Parsnip Lake House.
Did that used to be Konkoma Comedy? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
There used to be a comedy club out in Ronkonkoma called Konkoma Comedy. I did some stand up there 40 years ago.
It's right on the lake. The lake's right. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. I think it's the same place.
Yeah, one day we're gonna see you do stand up.
Me?
Yeah.
Somewhere around 2050.
2050. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. I'll be laid down. It will be laid down on stand up. I don't think I'm going to be doing stand up ever again. We'll see.
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be doing some at Jones Beach. You played a band shell at Jones Beach?
Yeah, 3 times with the Janice band. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you there? No, because they're still having stuff this summer.
Yeah, he was very limited with how many bands he could book this year, so we didn't get in this year.
So I'm supposed to be doing some. Been asked to do some stand up there on Thursday nights for.
Oh, that's cool.
You gonna do it?
It's fucking terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It's not like again. I don't have a problem telling a joke holding a guitar, but without the guitar in my hands, I'm like scared.
So just go up there with the guitar, man.
I could do that. Just wear the guitar and never play it, unless they don't laugh at my jokes, and then I go right into a song.
Yeah, no, actually, okay. Well, I'll save this for tomorrow, because this is a good subject matter for when we have tomorrow's guest on Hell. Because I was telling him that sometimes when you have a guitar up there, like I've seen a lot of comedians that just do a little riff in between the jokes, and it makes it gives a little more chuckle to the joke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a rim shot.
On Hell is his name. It looks like Angel to me.
Right, exactly. So it looks like Angel, but if you pronounce it like the way it is in its original, I guess it's On Hell. I don't know.
On Hell.
But yeah,
On
Hell.
Hell.
On
Hell. Hell being the dominant part of that. On Hell. It's like a metal.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
God, this poor
anyway,
guy.
Lisa, what do you got coming up this weekend? Anything to promote? Anything?
Let's see. Today I'm at Billy's. Tomorrow I'm at the Huntington Country Club, but it's for members only. So unless you're a member of the Huntington Country Club.
Country Club. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that alone? Is that a solo show or?
But yeah, solo. Yeah.
Wow.
5 o'clock start on that, and 5 o'clock today too in Greenport. Saturday at Janis Joplin tribute at 89 North, and then that's at 10. And then Sunday I'm solo in Port Jefferson at the Port Bistro at 2.
Wow, you're working it. Now, the country club thing to me, I would be thinking money. Anytime I play a country club thing, I'm thinking these people have money. Do you work that? Do you work the tip thing? Like,
I'll put a tip jar out, because a lot of times when I don't put it out, people ask where it is. So it's like I just put it out. Sometimes.
Yeah. I don't when I know people have money, I don't let them off the hook very easily.
You shouldn't.
Right. I have to say goodbye to Governor's Comedy Clubs right now.
Goodbye, Governors.
We'll see you tomorrow. Join us tomorrow.